Famcast Media, bitch.
Good afternoon, demons and demonesses. Kwame Wahkan here. If you guys are seeing this video just now or any other video after this point, chances are I'm going to be doing a lot of, late uploads. A lot of my videos are probably like from almost a week ago or a week and a half ago, and that's because I had a ban from YouTube. But yeah, ignore all the Christmas themes and all the Christmas stuff that I say in those other videos. But to put all that aside, speaking of Christmas, this is terrible news, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to light another fucking candle. So I go to check the Satanic Panic email, and a couple of my fans out from Chicago had sent me this story, and they were like, Kwame, you've got to see this. So I read it, and it says, transgender woman murdered on Christmas Day. Now, I said that I hope I wouldn't have to light any more candles this year, but this is a rather, unfortunate and really disgusting event. So let's all read this article together and see what the hell is going on in Chicago. Transgender woman murdered Christmas Day on South Side was trying to better herself. The Christmas Day murder of a transgender woman has shaken the city's transgender community, the head of a South Side Black-led LGBTQ center said Wednesday. Courtney Eshay Key was trying to make several changes in her life before the fatal shooting in Chatham, said LaSasia Wade, director of Brave Space Alliance. She was trying to better herself in particular ways, and then this happened, Wade said. Key was shot in the head at the 900 block of East 82nd Street around 8:30 p.m. on December 25th, according to the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office. Officers found Key in the streets where she was pronounced dead, police said. She was one of 8 people killed in holiday weekend gun violence. Wade said she was disappointed that the Chicago Police Department and health professionals listed Key as a male, even though Key identified as a woman. She said it was an example of how transgender people are shamed by society. Police and medical people are refusing to recognize people's authentic lives and how they recognize themselves, Wade said. We become disposable because there's a lot of us are in need of help. We think you're telling us we're worthless, that we're not worthy of living life because of the way we're misgendered. This is a continual thing. Key's family supported her and accepted that she was trans, but the family has no health insurance and is struggling to pay for her burial. Wade said, adding that Brave Space Alliance is helping with the funeral costs. It's an endless cycle of people lacking resources, lacking insurance, Wade said. It's an endless cycle of perpetual violence and people without universal health care. Attempts to reach Key's family were unsuccessful. No arrests have been made in Key's murder. At least 42 other transgender agenda non-conforming people have been murdered in the United States as of 2020, according to the Human Rights Campaign. That's the highest number of yearly murders the group has counted since it began tracking such crimes in 2013. Now, this is really disgusting news. And to be honest with you, when I hear this thing, I'm like, you know what? That's Chicago for you. I kind of had a feeling that this would have been something that happens in Chicago. You want to know why? Because like several other stories that I've researched and I've done some videos for, apparently they also happen in Chicago. A lot of trans women are either going missing or getting murdered in the city of Chicago. I think that's also because of the gun violence, also because of, rampant transphobia. And also, Chicago is known to have a lot of, serial killers that go after trans people. I think one of them was arrested a couple years ago. I think one of them just got sentenced, earlier this year. I didn't do a video on it, but I think I might have to because this is a problem that continues to plague Chicago. Violence, homophobia, transphobia, all sorts of, disgusting things happening to the LGBTQ community. Now, one of the things that LaSasia Wade said to me, and this really, just hit me hard, is the fact that, the family is poor and struggling, and the fact that, they didn't have health insurance and now they can't even afford a burial. All right, this is really not only is it sad enough that they lost their daughter or their relative on Christmas, mind you, Christmas, a day that you're supposed to be with your family. You're preparing yourself for the end of the year and then starting a new year, fresh start, new year, new you. And then this woman gets murdered by some freak with a gun. And let me tell you something. I probably already know who the killer is. And, I can't really say it because people are going to start acting crazy and start, saying all sorts of shit about me. Oh, Kwame, you're this. Kwame, you're that. Kwame, you're this. Kwame, you're that. And I'm like, it's the same shit that keeps happening over and over and over again. And nobody wants to talk about it. The black community doesn't want to talk about it. You don't see anyone else really talking about this shit. And that's the reason why it keeps fucking happening. Because people aren't saying shit, and people aren't doing anything, and people aren't making the proper steps to try and stop this thing from happening. Now, to elaborate on what Lasasia said about, the insurance thing, this just goes to hammer down that a lot of these, quote, woke people that want to come at me and get mad at me about, like, fucking presidential candidates and politicians that I refuse to support. And I'm like, you know what? Those people are clearly out of touch. They want to come at me and say, oh, Kwame, you're not really a good ally because you don't support fucking Joe Biden. You don't support the Democratic Party. Now you heard what Lasasia said. The family is poor and the family doesn't have health insurance. All right? What the fuck is the Democratic Party going to fucking do? The Democratic Party has said time and time again, they give the middle finger to poor people. They give the middle finger to black people. They give the middle finger to people that don't have health insurance. And because of all this, they basically gave the middle finger to the trans community. Because I know a lot of trans people that don't have health insurance. Not just in Chicago, in Philadelphia, in New Jersey, in New York, in Baltimore, all the places that I've visited. A lot of my trans friends don't have health insurance, and they can't afford Obamacare because Obamacare is too fucking expensive. It's too fucking expensive. I mean, people want to say, oh, Obamacare is socialism. How did that? Obamacare is privatized health insurance. It's fucking expensive as hell to get on Obamacare. I looked on the website the other day. They tell me, oh, you got to pay $250 for a fucking gold plan. Why the fuck I got to pay $250 for a gold plan? I'm practically living paycheck to paycheck as it is. And then you have the fucking individual mandate and all that other shit that just makes it even more fucking expensive. And this is why I say we need to have politicians that support Medicare for all. But when I say that, people want to say, oh, well, you're just like a Trump supporter. Oh, Kwame, you just hate trans people. Kwame, this and that, and Kwame that. I'm like, you realize that universal health care would help everybody in the United States, including those in the LGBTQ community. But nobody wants to speak about this. They just want to go based on party lines. Oh, toe party lines. Oh, I'm blue. Oh, I'm a zombie. I support the Democratic Party. Yeah. Fuck off. And you want to say I'm not a fucking ally? No, you're not a fucking ally. This story just really pisses me off because not only are we talking about the murder of a trans woman, but we're also talking about, how the system is screwing over the poor. I don't foresee things changing in 2021. I seriously doubt the Biden administration is going to try and stop this. I seriously doubt that the Biden administration is going to, do its part in, adding protections so that transgender people don't have to go through this shit. Don't have to go through the murders, don't have to go through being misgendered, don't have to go with, living life without fucking health insurance. It's going to be the same old shit over and fucking over and over again. And people are just going to be complicit with it. They're not going to be upset. They're not going to be angry. They're going to be like, oh, well, we got 45 out, so I guess things are good. It's unbelievable what people in this country have to go through, especially those in the LGBTQ community. Now, to the Chicago Police Department, really hope that you find this guy. I hope this isn't another one of those unsolved murders because there's been a lot of them this year. It wasn't until I think 6 months that they caught the killer of Dominique Remy Fells. They found him hiding all the way out in California. And thankfully, someone saw who he was and decided to call the police. So that was a good thing. Still an unsolved murder down in Texas. Still a few other unsolved murders out in Philadelphia. I'm just going to try and do my best to keep on top of all of them. I know I've slipped on a few of them. And even though that they're months old or even years old at this point, I still plan on, doing videos about them because, no one else is doing it and no one else is speaking about it. And, the more people that ignore it, the more this problem is going to keep happening and the more people are going to act like, the problem doesn't exist. So to the family of Courtney, I just want to say I send you my condolences. And to Courtney Eshay Key, your struggle will not be forgotten. Rest in peace, rest in power, and we will continue to fight for you and fight for everyone else in that community. Hopefully, 2021 will be a better year, but from the way it looks, it might not change. But I'm going to keep my hopes up and try to stay positive. All right, you guys, you stay metal, stay safe, hail Satan, and I'll catch you next time.